Welcome to another episode of the Issues of the Day podcast. We bring you the hottest issues and topics that are in the news and that concern most all people. We are not a political station, nor do we promote any one side of the story. We try to bring you the most current issues and look at it from all angles. Today we will talk about the disarray of the Republican Party. The Republican Party, also known as the GOP, is one of the two major contemporary political parties in the United States. It emerged as the main political rival of the Democratic Party in the mid-1850s. The first Republican president was with the 1860 election of Abraham Lincoln. With this election of Lincoln, our first Republican president, this splits the country because the deep Southern Democrats defended slavery. It is because of this defending slavery that the Civil War started. The Democratic Party defended slavery, started the Civil War, opposed Reconstruction, founded the Ku Klux Klan, imposed segregation, perpetrated lynchings, and fought against the Civil Rights Acts of the 1950s and 1960s. In contrast, the Republican Party was founded in 1854 as an anti-slavery party. Its mission was to stop the spread of slavery into the new Western territories with the aim of abolishing it entirely. This effort, however, was dealt a major blow by the Supreme Court. In the 1857 case Dred Scott v. Sandford, the court ruled that slaves aren't citizens, they're property. The 7 justices who voted in favor of slavery? All Democrats. The 2 justices who dissented? Both Republicans. The slavery question was, of course, ultimately resolved by a bloody civil war. The commander-in-chief during that war was the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, the man who freed the slaves. And when all their efforts to enslave blacks, kept them enslaved, and then keep them from voting had failed, the Democrats came up with a new strategy: if black people are going to vote, they might as well vote for Democrats. As President Lyndon Johnson was purported to have said about the Civil Rights Act, "I'll have the blacks voting Democrat for the next 200 years. So now, the Democratic Party prospers on the votes of the very people it has spent much of its history oppressing. Democrats falsely claim that the Republican Party is the villain when it's the failed policies of the Democratic Party that have kept blacks down. Massive government welfare has decimated the black family. Opposition to school choice has kept them trapped in failing schools. Politically correct policing has left black neighborhoods defenseless against violent crime. The Democrats united for a reason, and that was to keep the power at all costs and legalize them so Democrats can create a permanent one-party state. That is what the Democrat Party is doing now with the open borders and allowing all these people to come across the border to harvest them as future Democrat voters. When it comes down to it, the Democrats can focus on an issue and rally around that issue and unite to make that dream come true. All this for the one thing: to keep the plan to create a permanent one-party state. The Democrats have done everything they can to get the upper hand in elections. They have changed the voting laws to where states can vote for president by any means possible. The USA is about the only country that allows all types of voting. They mail out ballots, fill them in and mail them back. Drop them off almost anywhere and hope they get counted. Some places do not even require ID to vote, as this was a new rule put in place by the Democrats to gain more votes. So, looking at all the success the Democrats have had as a political party, they have one thing in common: they can unite around an idea and get it done. The Republican Party cannot rally around anything, thus preventing them from getting anything done. It is about time if the Republicans get a backbone and start to fight fire with fire so that this country can keep it a two-party country. Otherwise, a permanent one-party state will be formed by the Democrats. The Republicans cannot get together on the issues of today that we all know is wrong and vote as a party to condemn the unfair actions of the Democrats. As of today, the Republicans cannot even vote on impeachment because they still want to side with Democrats to keep the border open as to allow a permanent one-party state. Congress always wants to pass bills or legislature in a group. Sure, it saves time on voting for each bill separately, but this allows so much other wasteful stuff to be added into a good piece of legislation to make it bad overall. Again, both parties earmark a good piece of legislation with a bunch of pet projects they want for their personal behalf, either for their districts in hopes to get re-elected or to gain some future position and make themselves great in the eyes of others at a future time. The Republicans have pushed to get the legislations broken up and vote on independently, but they cannot group together as a whole and get this done. Again, they are fractured, split on anything they do. They need to get it together to get anything done. Currently they look like a bunch of schoolyard kids who cannot agree on anything, and it makes them look so bad in the eye of the American people. The Republican Party has great beliefs, as for they believe in low taxes, small government conservatism, free market capitalism, free trade, deregulation of corporations, and restrictions on labor unions. This does help the American people get a better life and be more prosperous. Sure, we need a two-party system in the United States, but if we have a weak Republican Party that does not know how to have a backbone and stand up for what is right for the party that they are a member of, then they need to announce that they are in support of the other party or change to be independent. All the money is controlled by the two main parties, thus that is why we have weak people in high places. Again, back to the border, we all know that allowing millions of people cross our border each year or even now millions each year, is wrong. They are draining our system of money, resources, and pushing our cities and economy to the breaking point. All to have more votes as Democrats down the road and to make it a one-party system. A one-party system is called communism. Who would have imagined that we are now giving phones, airplane rides to anywhere, and now even debit cards with money on it to others who just came here? The American people are hurting, they need the money, not just hand it out to the illegal people crossing our borders for any reason they can make up. So many impoverished American kids and families can use the free phones. Think about it, that if the American family were able to stay together as a family unit, the crime will decrease, values and morals will increase. This will create a better United States. If they had free phones, they could keep in touch with each other as a family and build a stronger bond. Thus, a stronger family makes a united family. Right now seems we are not a United States, but a divided states. What next? Another group of states to succeed and break away to create another independent country? We do blame a lot of this on the Republican Party, since they cannot unite and vote as a whole party. They need to get together like the Democrats. One good thing about the Democrats is they can stick together to make their party work. Whether they believe in it or not, they want to be on the winning side. Republicans are on the losing side now and no way to come back. They are allowing all the Democrat ideas cloud their judgment and interfere in what is right. They are allowing all this interference in this upcoming election as they do everything, so they can kick out a person running for president. Look, if it comes down to it, the Democrats are winning and getting the division going in between parties. Some states are considered as write-off states to the Republicans like California. They always just give that state to the Democrats. They do not give Republican members money enough to run a successful campaign to even put up a fight to elect any Republican to office no matter what the office they are running for. Whether it be Congress, Senate, State Assembly, District Attorney, anything. They just ignore it all and concede the state to the other party. The Republicans are for a strong United States, with an emphasis on united, but they cannot get their act together to go face to face with the Democrats. Republicans want peace around the world and have done that in the past by showing strength. The Republican Party does not show unity in that now. They also believe in giving people the ability to make what they can of themselves and give more individual rights, freedom, and responsibility. Currently, we believe that this country is on the wrong path to keep it a great country. Right now, it seems to all the people we have talked to and that have written in, saying that we are weak, and seems we are ready to be taken over by another country. They are afraid that we are doing all the wrong things to allow others to see us as weak, and maybe confront us in a confrontation that will push us to prove how strong and how united we are. Currently, the Democrats seem bent to keep this world in turmoil and at war, and the reason behind that is cloudy at best. But could it be because the current administration is corrupt, or does the big businesses have Democrats in their hand to keep the money flowing? We have done everything wrong right now and still doing it. We need accountability, and it seems the Republicans cannot get their stuff together to give us a check and balance system to keep us strong and united. The Republicans cannot even confront, impeach, or do anything as a party on issues that are known to everyone as being wrong and in need of change. The Democrats can impeach a president over a phone call made to inquire about corruption in their government, to who we're giving billions of dollars to. We had every right to ensure that the money we give to a country will be used for good and to help democracy and not just help corrupt people within that country. Democrats jumped on that wagon quick and with only one piece of evidence that later turned out as being a completely understandable question to ask looking back on it from today's point of view. What I mean by that is, look at the money we are dumping into a country to fund a war that should never have started, and millions of dollars we have sent to that country has already fallen into corrupt hands and made bad people their rich. We are funding small business there by giving people money and resources there to start small business, and yet they cannot even help our own people here in the USA. Something's wrong with that idea. Republicans want to split aid to the country to make it more accountable, but the Democrats want to bundle it with other useless, bad, or personal projects and other legislation to bury the money trail. Republicans need to stand up and be united and push back on what they know is right. How can one party be so united, and another party be so divided? How is that going to help the United States to be a strong, united country? The world is watching, and they are looking at us as weak, immature, and disorganized people. If we are to promote and support a democracy around the world, we are sure not portraying that idea here at home where democracy was formed. Republicans need to get it together, support the party they represent, and push to make it a fair, check and balanced nation. Stand up for the unity of the party, never back down, never change sides, push for what is the best for the party that you choose to support. Never look at it as choosing the less of two evils, but choosing a party or person that you support. The Republicans need to get this done right in order to have a democratic country that the world look up to once again. Do not waste time, get things done. Thanks for listening, special edition to our podcast. Please come again. Please subscribe.